In this video, we're going to explore the question, why grow microgreens? Now, you've probably given this some thought already, but let's cover a few key points here. And what we're going to do is look at both the opportunities that come with growing microgreens, as well as the challenges. One of the most appealing things about microgreens is they can be grown successfully at a very small scale. And this is really important if you're looking at an urban farming or small-scale farm situation. But on any farm, especially if space is limited, microgreens give you the opportunity to optimize your space because you can effectively use vertical space in a way that you can't with ground crops. But even though microgreens is a small-scale crop, it can certainly be scaled up. Your scale potential really depends partially on the size of your local market and partially on your ability to keep that market happy by providing high-quality products. Microgreens have a high revenue per square foot due to their high retail value and short crop cycle. For a 7-day crop like radish, you can turn over a tray 52 times a year with a weekly harvest. So at $20 per tray, that's over $1,000 in revenue from less than 2 square feet of production space. And trays can sell for a lot more than $20. The small-scale nature of microgreens means a little investment can go a long way. If you have a suitable space for growing microgreens already, a garage, a greenhouse, or a spare room, we'll talk more about growing spaces later, then you could easily get started for under $2,000. Of course, the smaller your investment, the smaller your scale will be. But once you start generating revenue, building a reputation, and establishing a good client base, you can start to invest more to increase your production. Okay, full confession, seriously. One of the main reasons I got into growing microgreens after years of market gardening is I was just sick of bending over. Market farming is hard on the body, and I feel I owe it to my future self to keep this body in reasonably good shape for as long as I can. When I designed my first production system, it was all about ergonomics and saving my back from pain. Shelves and tables were built at waist height, and other systems were designed to reduce as much physical strain as possible. So keep that in mind. While more and more people are growing microgreens as a standalone operation, I think their biggest potential may be as a complement to vegetable crops on already existing farms. Microgreens can fit into any sized farming operation as a complement to a CSA, farmer's market, or restaurant sales. Microgreens can be particularly valuable in vegetable farming in the winter and spring when ground crops are sparse in many climates, thus providing valuable off-season revenue. An important aspect of any potential business is its business potential. Microgreens are growing in popularity with a wide range of consumers, especially health-conscious consumers, and it looks like this trend is likely to continue in the near future. If you can tap into that consumer market, you could be well on your way to success. Okay, if you've been doing any microgreens research before getting to this video, you might have the impression that running a microgreens business is all rainbows in the sky and unicorns shooting money out of their asses. I'll just let you spend a moment with that image. But the reality is, running a microgreens business is hard work. If you have the impression that it's easy, then growers that are trying to sell you courses and consulting are doing a very good job in promoting their services. So here are some things to keep in mind if you're thinking of getting into microgreens production. Growing microgreens is one thing, selling them is another. And the reality is, most of you aren't salespeople and most of you don't want to be salespeople. So this aspect of the business can be a real challenge. But the solution is rather simple. Find a business partner who does like marketing. Often touted as a one-person enterprise, when ventured into as a solo endeavor, growing microgreens at the small scale can be quite isolating. In the early days of your business, you will want to do everything you can to keep your costs down, which means you will be doing everything. To avoid this, consider bringing in a partner as soon as you can. Microgreens can generate a lot of revenue, but they also come with a lot of costs. Online courses will tell you the costs are just seeds and soil, but those are just your production input costs, and packaging is rarely included in those costs. But it's the non-production expenses that often get overlooked. Some bigger expenses you'll need to consider are rent, insurance, power costs, software, accounting, and labor, including your own. And there's much more than that. Smaller expenses which add up include things like paper towels, cleaners, gloves, printing costs, transaction fees, and so much more. And all these things, including seed, soil, and packaging, need to be sourced, ordered, paid for, received, inventoried, reordered, again and again and again. So be sure not to focus so much on revenue that you forget about all the expenses. And the best way to do this is by writing a business plan with a detailed financial analysis. What I have personally found to be one of the biggest challenges of microgreens production is repetitive tasks. Hey, what are you doing this Tuesday? Same thing as every Tuesday. Sowing 80 to 100 trays of shoots, uncovering 40 to 50 trays from the germination stage, completing Tuesday's weekly maintenance tasks, washing 300 trays from the last 2 harvests, filling 200 trays with soil for the next sowing, gazing off into the distance, wondering what my friends are up to tonight. They stopped calling months ago. It doesn't matter anymore. In short, if you don't like doing repetitive tasks, microgreens may not be for you. Though in fairness, you may also find that these are just the repetitive tasks you've been looking for. And if you do like repetitive tasks with a bit of variation, you'll be in heaven. Starting up a microgreens business on your own means you need to do everything. Growing, harvesting, marketing, delivering, planning, invoicing, bookkeeping, cleaning, research, repairs, maintenance. The list goes on, literally forever. This is a great recipe for burnout. But despite these challenges, there are 2 fixes that help address most of these challenges. Number 1, be young and ambitious. If you're still in your I'm immortal years, you'll probably do fine. 2, find a partner or partners to run the business with, which also applies if you're feeling immortal. Imagine what 2 immortals could do together. Having the right business partners allows you each to focus on your strengths and improve your weaknesses together. Growing microgreens commercially comes with great opportunities as well as challenges. Take some time to think about the points we shared with you here when you're developing your business. Take note of what stood out most for you, what made you nervous, and what made you excited. Also take note of other things that came to mind that excited you or made you nervous as we went through our points. The better you understand how you relate to each of the opportunities and challenges that running a microgreens business offers, the better you can hone your strengths and adapt to challenges.